Hello, hello, and welcome to today's lesson from the world's leading experts on confinement. And of course, I mean our prison residents. Today's lesson starts with some not so pleasant questions. Have you ever felt beat up? Dare I say worthless? That you have nothing significant to contribute to the world? That this situation of confinement is just making you so invisible and so small, with even less to bring to the world? Well, my hope is that today's story inspires you to recognize that you have so much more impact and so much more power than you're giving yourself credit for. Because some other people that can feel quite worthless and quite unable to contribute positively to the world are the prison residents. And so come into prison and meet Jason. Jason is an enthusiastic young man, laughing almost all the time and definitely continuously optimistic. And Jason and a number of other prison residents joined our team a number of months ago. And the first day they joined, I did what I do most times when we have new people, which is kind of share the values and norms of our circle and our space and Brilliance Inside as a whole. And so that day, I told all of us in attendance about where the name of Brilliance Inside comes from the fact that I truly believe that each and every single one of us has brilliance inside, no matter our circumstances. Brilliance, that essence that is uniquely ours, our spirit, our unique God-given gifts that we're here to share with the world. That's what brilliance means to me. And every single one of us, no matter who we are, has it. Might be stifled down far behind things. And I also told him something that I truly believe to be true, is that here they are, locked up behind prison walls, dressed in blue, which is kind of the expression that we use to say convicted criminals have done some really bad things in the world. And yet I told him that from this place of behind the walls, they had an opportunity and an ability to impact what was going on the outside, on us free people, as they say, in the rest of the world. About 3 weeks later, when we're back in our circle, Jason has a story to share. And he starts by saying, "You guys remember when we had our first time and Mariette told us that we'd be able to impact the outside from the inside? Well, I'm an eternal optimist. And even for me, I was a little skeptical of that." It's like, and yet, yes, last week I experienced something that made me realize that maybe this is more true than I gave it credit for. And he goes and relates an experience that he had the previous week in our space when we had a number of local business CEOs join our space for our Tuesday afternoon. And Jason had a 15-minute conversation with one of those local CEOs. And this person had come to prison and was there really, with a curiosity, and was going to test the guys. Comes with this idea, with this energy of questioning, of testing, and Jason was the first person that he met. And so they have about a 15-minute conversation, because then we moved on from our exercises, where they had a very strong, honest conversation about who Jason was, who he is, and who he aspires to be. And by the end of those 15 minutes, the relationship between the two of them had completely transformed. And this business leader was showing up with gratitude for who Jason was and just a complete different look in his eyes. In our closing circle, like we end all of our times inside prison, this business leader shared how he is leaving prison with a completely new perspective, not just on prison residents, but arguably on our kind of, if you will, my words, humanity overall. And Jason related how the following week, when he's telling us a story, how in that moment when he saw the shift in this man's eyes, he knew that he had changed someone on the outside. And if he could do that with this man in 15 minutes, then maybe what I had proposed was not so far off. And the beauty and the challenge is that we don't know what's going to come of that shift in perspective of that one individual. But we see enough shifts and we see enough ripple effects to know that the impact does happen and continues to ripple out. First, with the prison residents' kids, who some of them have, for the first time in their generations, the ability to step away from that generational cycle of gangs and drugs and guns and violence in prison. We see it in the secondary effects of all the people that go into prison, from the correctional officers, the staff, us volunteers, and what we experience and what we're able to bring out. I receive stories, and some of them are on the blog, of, for example, prison residents donating to local charities and organizations. They make $10 a month, and yet they found their way to give $25 to different organizations. Of course, with our TEDx events, there's now 8 TEDx talks delivered by the prison residents that are online. Those 8 TEDx talks have been seen 77,000 times. That's 77,000 people at least who have been touched and by the messages of these prison residents. This is how, even though confined behind our prison walls, who they are and who they allow themselves to become ripples out into our society at large and impacts more and more and more people. And so my hope is that the story is not one that condemns you. It makes you feel that, oh my gosh, if they can do that, then I should be able to do something, whatever it might be. I hope it's one that inspires you. Put to the side that possible self-condemnation that could come up and step into the fact that if these people who we have outcast from our society can create that kind of ripple effect with their small acts, so can you. And so my invitation to you is to release the stories of how small and visible and insignificant you might be, and step into you have so much more power than you've ever imagined. And you have the potential of having such a great and beautiful and loving impact on our world, particularly right now. And so step into that and see what you become inspired to do. And allow yourself to be yet another drop in our ocean of kindness and goodness, positivity and growth. I can't wait to hear what comes of that. And have a wonderful day.